guys, we just got back from Insidious, the final key.
The last key.
I wish it was the last key, Joe. This is Insidious 4, and it's January,
You know what that means.
most wonderful month for movies. So we went to go see it so you wouldn't have to. So we could tell you that it is a
Pile of shit.
a steaming.
Pile of shit.
Okay, it's a steaming pile of shit, and they should have stopped at 3. The Insidious trilogy, now a quadrilogy, is. Did I just make that up? I don't know, but so I was all right with 3 movies, and this movie by the end feels like an unnecessary addition, just to, I don't know. Make some money, extend the franchise, and give us the time in between the bullshit, nonsensical ending of Insidious 3 and Insidious 1, because Insidious 3 was a prequel. And this is a prequel to a prequel, or no, a sequel to a prequel, correct?
Yeah, I think
but
so.
but it's still a prequel in itself.
It is.
It is a sequel to a prequel that it is a prequel. And it was completely unnecessary. It's the first movie essentially to make the main character, this Elise character, who we've seen in all of the films. The older lady played by Lynn Shay, and she has this sensitivity to the what do they call it? The other world, the further. And demons are somehow attracted to her. So anywhere she goes, she's got to battle demons, and they had to tell this additional story, which features a brand new demon. I was hoping that we'd see more of our friend,
No.
Darth Maul demon tiptoe through the window, but he doesn't really play a factor here. It's a brand new demon. So Joe, take it from here. What do you got? How'd you feel?
So, in the beginning, it started off pretty well. Then midpoint, I started falling asleep. I kid you
You
not.
motherfucker!
Okay.
I thought I heard Joe snoring.
No, I was not snoring.
Okay.
Like I started dozing off. It's like I lost interest. I literally lost interest.
He didn't do that without reason, because the film
It started to come to a screeching halt, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "What's going on?" I'm kind of confused. Fuck it. I'm going to sleep.
This is a story that's written by the guy who actually wrote
All of them.
All of them?
He wrote every one of them.
He directed the last one. I know that one. He plays a character in this. He's one of the ghost hunters, if you don't know. He's the Spec. They call him Specs because he wears glasses or whatnot, at least in this film. And he's actually the director of the last one, wrote the script for this one. And I gotta tell you, man, the script has some really awkward moments, really awkward lines.
I didn't see Insidious 1, 2, or 3. And you told me.
So you're coming in fresh. Yeah.
fresh. And this movie was horrible. And
Yeah.
I don't want to see Insidious 1, 2, or 3.
Well, I'll tell you right away that those
other ones
are
are
better films than
Yes.
this. I haven't seen 3. I've seen 1 and 2, and 1 was the strongest, just the first half, until you started making me laugh with Tiny Tim, because I know who he was before the movie, and you got Darth Maul, but it had really great atmosphere. And this film never reaches the heights of the first, much less the second or third. It gets really boring in the middle. Now, I must preface this with, it is a well-filmed boring. In the sense that it has all the pieces in place of, this is about to get interesting. And it never does. It just goes and goes and goes, and it's spinning its wheels. And my rating was free falling during this. I was, when I'm looking at my
I saw you do that.
when I'm looking at my watch during the movie, that's when you know that the movie has done something to completely disengage its audience. Mainly, a lot of the humor,
Oh, it was so bad.
oh yeah,
It's
Like,
awkward.
there's these
It's
two
very
sidekick
awkward.
characters, which they tell you constantly through the movie that she's psychic and we're sidekicks, and it wasn't
We're
funny.
psychic.
Yeah, and
Sidekicks.
those two characters were not funny. They tried
One
really
guy
hard.
laughed at that joke in the theater.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
you
got
hear that?
mad.
That sad,
That
sad
one
man.
guy.
You're like,
Yeah.
he was like,
His wife is like, shut the fuck up.
how dare you support this?
But yeah, so and what that does is it leads to a very boring film. Rating was free falling, and I was like, wow, I'm really low here. Now, right towards the end, right when we get to a scene that sort of has a prison type of thing, and you'll know when you get there, no spoilers here, we'll talk about it later, that it starts to pick up a little bit. At least it ties together all of the things that they had set up within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
You know
for
what I
someone
mean?
who had no exposure with any of that, I
Yeah.
didn't get any of the tie it all together, and it was just so.
Oh, what? That's right.
Because
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
so the first 30 minutes was actually pretty good. There were some jump scares that were good. Like you said, it was filmed really well, and
Yeah.
so I'm getting into it. It's like, okay, I like this kind of thing, and it spirals out of control after the first 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and it never recovered for me because I didn't care
Okay.
that it tied back into a story I was unfamiliar with. It was just garbage.
What did you feel about the acting in the film? This is where I felt like it fell on its face even harder. All the side characters are completely uninteresting. They try really hard at the jokes. You mentioned that
Yeah.
the ghost hunters, and their relationship feels forced. It doesn't feel genuine. Now I will say this about Elise, Lynn Shay. She is precious. She is it's somebody you want to root for. She kind of looks like my grandma a little bit, and you just want to root for her. But I there were moments where I didn't believe her acting, and I don't know if that's just the material that was given to her. Do you think?
I think it's the material.
Or it was just one awkward line too many, or one delivery that just was like, that's a little awkward.
off-putting.
Yeah, it was a little off-putting. And so I started questioning her acting, but here's what the fucked up part is: she's the best actor in the film, bar none. And so that to me was like, man, and the makeup in this film is done really how do you call this? Just standard, really boring, about all the dead people and all the are they these figures from the beyond, or what is it called, the fucking further. I don't know. It's just rather boring.
It's really they lay it on so thick that there are parts in the movie where you're looking at people and you actually don't know if they're just dirty or dead. And actually it happens. It happens in the movie, and you're like, well, that's the problem with the way you did the makeup design.
The film goes into Elise's backstory, the psychic. We get to visit her house. We get to see how fucked up her dad has treated her and her family situation, and that was slightly interesting. But it really just couldn't hold the film together for me, and it just, at every opportunity it had to do something new and interesting, it didn't. There's specific scenes where we're chasing. We've got a gun chase and in the haunted house, and you're thinking, okay, let's do something with the ghost here. Maybe put a few shots, and then oh shit, no effect. But they don't go for something like that. They go for basically the most boring choice. And that's just what I want to get across to you, that every single interesting opportunity that pops up, they go for standard and they go for boring. And so let's go ahead and with that give our final verdicts for Insidious 4. You already knew it. Some of you already knew it. But as we are reviewers, we want to go to these things to give it a chance. Because remember...
Yeah, we wanted to go to these things, right? We wanted to go to these movies. You did, because you like bad movies.
I like horror movies. Me and Joe like horror movies. And at a certain point, I'm interested in train wrecks and bad movies. But what I was saying is that, Ouija boards, that last Ouija board movie was terrible, but the sequel, or the prequel, which was a sequel, turned out to be pretty good.
Same thing with Annabelle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. And then Annabelle, Creation, it's not the best, but it was better than the first for sure. So I was hoping that we'd get that situation
But they
here.
already did a prequel. So this is a prequel sequel.
Right,
so.
we covered that already, Joe. Fuck! All right, let's give it our final verdicts. And we'll start with Alex this time, who hasn't seen any of the Insidiouses, so this thing stands on its own. Didn't get any of the references to scenes with, like, she walks into random rooms and sees things, and Alex must be completely lost.
I mean, I know enough about the movies where, like, there was a gas mask in there, and they focused in on it for a second. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it's an Easter egg.
I didn't even see that.
Because the guy who can't breathe from the other stupid one that probably wasn't any good. We doing verdicts?
Yeah, verdicts. Final verdicts.
The movie started off. First 30 minutes was actually really good. There was nothing disappointing, and that was really it for me. I think this is a 3 out of 10. I mean, this is like really below average. Yeah. It was filmed pretty well. The story was fine. The dialogue was horrible.
Yeah, dialogue wasn't.
Man, do I give this a 2? Like I don't know how. Like I don't know how the.
You haven't probably seen some of the shit that we've seen. No, did you see that Poltergeist reboot? Okay, so he hasn't seen a lot of the bad movies. Well, welcome to the bad movie horror January club. Well, I think. Would you say 3? That's a pretty good baseline.
2 or 3.
I'd say 3 because it was well filmed. It had some. Well, you liked the ending less than I did. So.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes was good, and that's it.
And in my opinion, when you say the first 30 minutes are good, they're not. They do a competent job to set something up, and the batter is just sitting there.
He falls
Are you gonna swing?
No, 2. It's a 2.
And then at the very end, you get maybe 10 minutes of payoff. Joe?
Well, I did like the backstory of Elise.
And Joe has seen the other ones.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, got the opposite.
Basically. So I like the backstory they gave her. I like the new character creation that they did. Other than that, the acting was decent. Their jokes were awkward as fuck. Their little love thing they were trying to do.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Terrible.
They force a love thing in here, and it's with the character of Specs, who is the guy that wrote them and directed it. And so then knowing that, and knowing how kind of nerdy and awkward he is, and at least in the film. And you think maybe
very cringeworthy.
It's like, did he write it in here so he could kiss that one girl? That's how it feels.
Yes.
Because it comes out of
exactly
nowhere.
What it was. So with all that, I'm going to give this a 3.
Okay, 3 out of 10. Final verdict from me is I was wavering between a 2, a 3, when I was stuck there in the middle of the film towards the end. I looked at my clock. This thing started at 7. I look at my clock and it's like 8, and I'm like, okay, nothing's happening. And 8:20, nothing's happening. 8:45 is the clock, the time on the clock where I'm like,
something happens.
Okay, this could look cool. We're into the other world, this sort of prison with these keys and this opening, and this demon is all about the keys. That's why it's called the key. And I'm like, okay, and then we get 10 minutes of payoff where they sort of everything they set up at the beginning, it pays sort of. Well, Joe says it doesn't pay off. We'll get to that in spoilers, but then it ends and it ties directly into Insidious 1, and I felt like, damn man, you couldn't have made Insidious 3 the one that links directly into Insidious 1, and it felt an unnecessary 4th movie. So now they literally cannot inject any more sequels to prequels because it picks up right where 1 starts. So it's a quadrilogy, and I hope it stops there because it's done. It's over with, and so that's my final verdict. Will end up. I was thinking about 4, that would be the highest it can achieve, but I had 2 as well. I'm going to end on 3 out of 10, and we start our January off right at the movie theaters.
Yay.
Saving you guys money. Please don't go out and waste money on this. Wait until it comes out on...
Don't watch it then.
No, I think you can because there are
When we go
watch the other ones. That's right.
1 and 2.
Yeah, sure.
Watch 1 and 2 if you haven't seen those, and then if you have nothing better to do and you've gone through all the Insidiouses, then maybe you can circle around when it's on Netflix and completely free to you. Okay, but that's not even free. But okay, anyway, so. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope it saved you a little bit of money so you can save it for some some better shit coming out, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit of spoilers, not much to talk about, and so stick around for that if you're interested. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next AngryJoe Show!
Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Okay, yeah, so spoilers
Oh
time.
my god, this movie was terrible.
So what can we say? Okay, so Joe, you know the most about these because you have seen them.
Yes.
We get the Elise backstory. Her mother dies, or her father is abusive. Doesn't believe that she can actually see ghosts. We get that shit. So he whips her and abuses her every time she brings up the fact that she
So
can
this
see
key
ghosts.
master kills his mother.
Her mother believes her.
Yes.
Gives not her, but gives the son.
I was wondering if she had powers though.
Yeah,
Oh, the
It's
mother-
passed down apparently.
Maybe they didn't explain that,
Yeah.
but gives the son the whistle, right? Because the son doesn't have powers, and he's constantly, he's like tormented by his sister who sees these things. He's like, "Stop playing around." He's like, "No, I'm not playing around." That kind of stuff. Gives son the whistle in case he gets scared. Mother will show up and help him and soothe him. And that is the MacGuffin they set up, or what is it, Chekhov's gun or whatever. So they set up this whistle, they show this whistle constantly, and this whistle is going to play a part.
but it's stupid because when it does play part, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right, so so finally you get nothing in the middle of this film. Like, I don't even remember what happens in the middle of this film. It's basically she goes back. No, somebody calls her on the telephone, says from her original house, and says, "I'm being haunted, come help me." Comes over there. Turns out this guy, it says all this shit is going on in this house. She investigates. The ghost leads her. There's a friendly ghost that
It's
leads
not
her to the
friendly.
basement.
In the beginning, it chokes her out. It scares the hell out of her. It's not friendly.
Oh shit, you're
Yeah.
right.
It's not
The
friendly.
friendly ghost fucking chokes her out and
chokes
says, "Help her!"
And then he takes her whistle.
and steals the
And
damn
she's scary
whistle.
and she's scaring everybody. There's no
Okay, see, you see how it's contrived? They set, oh yeah, and then remember she's standing in front of the doors like, "Bitch, if you're wanting to help me, why are you standing anonymously, through this fucking door?" Okay, so there's contrived point number one. That ghost later on at the end of the film
is articulate and helpful, holds their hand, gives them a lantern. "I'm gonna help you out. Here's the whistle."
but
Here's
at the
bad
beginning
guy.
she's fucking
He's like,
choking her out.
"Sleep."
It was hilarious.
She was testing them out, all right?
Okay.
It was
See if they're strong enough to
Exactly.
fight. So anyway, this ghost leads her to the basement where there's a real person in there. And that's supposed to be this, whoa, twist. And I was like, okay, well, whatever.
That's good.
But there's a real person chained in there, and it turns out this guy that lives in her house, you think that he's a psycho, serial killer. But it turns out, later on, you find that the real fucking key ghost is the one possessing not only that guy who was beating on the woman, but also her father who was beating on her because he's a demon and he just likes that kind of shit, I guess. So her father really wasn't that evil. And then that's when we get sort of the culmination of the film when she visits her brother who is estranged because she ran away from home. And she visits this town again, sees these two daughters who kind of look familiar to them. They turn out to be the daughters
Her
of
two
her.
sidekicks are constantly leching on them and trying to,
Yeah.
trying really, really hard.
Oh, it was
It's
so cringy.
It was not.
And it wasn't like, oh, they're nerds and oh, haha, and they're gamers and nerds and ghost hunters, so they have problems with women. But no, it's written so poorly where you're like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, no,
Period.
like it literally pissed me off because this is like their nieces or whatever, and she's trying to have like a little heartfelt. It's like, oh my god, I haven't seen you guys forever.
Yeah. And
These
they're all
guys
like,
like, hey,
"Hey,
my name is Tucker. What's
I'm a
up,
sidekick.
guys? What's up?
We're
It's like,
sidekick.
guys,
we're
let her have her
sidekicks.
moment.
Yeah,
He-
exactly.
At one point, he tries to seductively eat Jello with a knife.
Yeah.
And it was really bad.
And the film wants you so desperately to like these two, because the writer-director is one of them. But it really never works. The guy with the mullet and, it's a business up front, partying back, and wears his little 80s or, 90s glasses. It's terrible. So getting a little sidetracked though is the culmination of the film where I say it pays off in the 10 minutes and Joe says it doesn't and he says it does. But, you know, the demon, she realizes the demon was controlling her father. So time the demon gains control of these daughter, what would they be, nieces characters, because one of the nieces can do the same stuff she can. She's sensitive.
I'm just kind of scared they're gonna do a little thing with her.
You think that's how they're gonna continue
hope
this
not.
fucking thing?
But
Yeah, because this old lady, she's dead.
yeah, she's dead.
She dies in the first one.
Yep.
So unless they want to do Insidious films in nothing but the
Hey, we have
the
all the
beyond.
time from when she's 16 to 50 something.
Oh,
and we don't know
please,
anything about her
God.
life.
No.
Please, God. Anyways, so finally the demon gets her up on the ground, and the demon has a special power of putting a fucking finger in your body and turning off your voice. And then after he does that, he likes to cut you open and then
Takes your soul.
take your soul, right? Is the key to your soul, and then he can do whatever he wants with you. So he's about to do that to her, and guess what happens? They find the whistle, and the little niece is like, Elise, and throws the whistle, and it's such a girl
So
throw.
stupid.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that, right? It's such a wimpy throw.
She just
that
got
it-
beaten up by
it's-
like a demon.
It lands nowhere near her, and poor Elise is like, God damn it. You piece of shit, I can't reach. And she finally gets the whistle, blows it, and guess what?
Ghost Mom comes back.
Ghost Mom.
And
Really?
It was
This is
Bill-
what we go with?
Yeah, Bill
A ghost
Cosby,
mom.
we're gonna go with the Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby shows up to save the day. No, Ghost Mom shows up and whips its ass with a
for no reason with
One
no
turn.
explanation.
One fucking bitch slap.
yeah, it's a lantern.
That's it.
And I guess she banishes it, maybe?
We have no.
we don't know what
we-
happens.
we-
He just fades away into the darkness.
Something about this
Oh.
dead woman, like she's more powerful than a demon, but she can only be summoned by a stupid little whistle.
It's because
That's
of
been blown the entire movie, by the way.
It's because of a mother's love. So, depending on your mileage and depending on
She
how...
gave it to the son, not her. She shouldn't have shown up.
Right. She's like, that's not for you.
Yeah,
That's for my
exactly.
boy.
Give the toy back to your brother.
Exactly.
But that's funny. But depending on your mileage and how desperate you are at that point, me, I was dead. I was like, oh my God, please don't let me have wasted my time this badly. So I wanted something to happen and for shit to come together. It came together. These guys are like, no, this came together. It was
I
awful.
woke up from my nap. I wanted to see something cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I was like, go back to sleep.
That's it, guys. You don't need to see it now. At the very end, we see the red guy show up in the window again,
He's
tormenting
tiptoeing
the little boy.
through the window.
Oh,
Oh.
shit, boy! Tiptoe through the
No.
window. No. Okay.
Well, you wouldn't get it
that was a
anyways.
pity.
No, that's
You
right.
wouldn't
You
have
haven't
guessed
even
it,
seen the
right?
first one.
Oh yeah,
Prepare
I'm
yourself.
missing out.
Prepare yourself. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.